Mendelian inheritance. So there's a few different kinds of dominance. There's complete dominance, incomplete dominance, and codominance when it comes to how alleles are expressed. So let's start with complete dominance, since I think of everything in the form of two alleles fighting for rule of the kingdom. So that's just a warning that that's going to be most of the references. So with complete dominance is basically when one allele says, "Thou shalt not rule this land, I am dominant over you." Or simpler terms, it completely blocks out the recessive trait from showing. So if you're talking about eye color, brown eyes is dominant over blue. So if someone is heterozygous and they have brown eyes and blue eye traits, then the blue eye trait will be silently sad that it's not being shown, crying in the corner, most likely. In incomplete dominance, it's like if both alleles were fighting for the right of the kingdom, and the resulting trait came somewhere out in between. So if a red flower and a white flower made a heterozygous flower child, then it would be some kind of pink, because neither of them would make the other submit as the recessive, the weaker of the two that has to go cry in a corner. Codominant is when two allele traits lower their swords and decide, wait, why are we fighting? Why can't we just have both? And sit down for tea instead and let both traits be present. The best example of this, or at least I think it's the best example of this because I love blood types, is blood type AB. A and B aren't more dominant over the other, so the person ends up with both antigens, A and B. Both reside on the cell and have a laid-back tea party, just sitting around. With all these different kinds of possibilities of a way a gene can show, there are many interesting outcomes that can come up. One way the nature of dominance and recessive vary is sickle cell disease. In this case, a person that only has one copy of the disease but has a normal copy as the pair, they would have half of their cells as normal cells and half as misshapen, unable to carry oxygen. This makes the disease codominant, but the person can still function because the cells that are normal are able to keep the person functioning. This means that the rest of the world thinks that they don't have sickle cell disease. They don't really qualify it since they aren't anemic. If someone gets two copies of sickle cell disease, that means none of their cells would be normal, making the person have anemia.